Person jumped in already. All right, all right. What's up, family?
Hey, KCL fam.
We are here. What's up, David
Indeed.
Rich? What's happening? Says sending some good Reiki energy. All right, appreciate that energy.
Most
Appreciate that
deaf.
Reiki energy. Yes, sir. So for show, for show. So yeah, so we'll get going here and we'll be doing our thing. So tonight again, we'll be asking or answering the questions. So I'm Reginald Kuakaru, and I help those that are transitioning from Christianity to get over the negative programming, so that they can live life authentically, unapologetically, and on their terms without guilt or shame.
Yes. And I am Voice Shay, and I am the spiritual advisor, and I help those who are on their journey and on their path connect more deeply to their higher selves, to their authentic path through mediums such as astrology, numerology, tarot, and just divination in general. So happy to be here with you guys tonight.
All right, all right. I see Ancient of Days. What's up? What's up? K Street. What's up? Melvin Reed. How's it going? Good to see you guys here. Good to see you
Yeah.
guys here.
Michael
So
P.
yeah.
Hey,
What's-
hey.
so yeah. But yeah, so and I also wanted to recognize some of the ones that gave last week in the Cash App. That was Brenda Chambliss gave $25, and Fred Johnson gave $9.99. Larry Fisher gave $20. Judy Smith Randall did that 111. Appreciate you, appreciate you. Natasha Parker gave 20, and Ava Jackson gave 22.22. Love those numbers.
Much appreciated.
Yes, yes. What's up, Ashley? Good to see you. Good to see you. There's the man. He
The
is
man in
here.
the house. Hey, Ashley.
What's happening? What's happening, fam? Good to see y'all guys here. So we'll get going tonight. Uh, and as always, guys, if we'll have our fun answering the questions to the best of our ability and our knowledge. And we don't know everything, but we know some things.
Little
But if
something.
we don't know, this is what you'll hear. I don't know. Just hey, I don't know the answer to that one. So because there are a lot of things that you might have experienced that we have not. So but it's all good. It's all good. I don't claim to be a know-it-all. I know Voice feels the same way. We just
No, always learning. The
always
best
learning.
teachers are forever students. So always learning.
Exactly. Exactly. So there you go. Always
There's
learning.
everybody. Okay, I think there was maybe a lag time on the comments. Hey, Renee. Hey, Ra.
Rhonda
Ra in
Creators
the
here.
house.
What's
The
happening,
Dark
Rhonda?
Goddess.
All
Yes,
right. Renee
ma'am.
Rogers is in the house. All right. Blitzer
Universal Nail
Ya
Goddess. Hey,
Asantewa. Good to have you.
D. Brooks, Aura of Angel. And
All
that
right.
pronounce this name. What's that? What's this name? You try.
It's look like Ayrton Fanny. Ayrton.
Hey.
We just gonna call him A Ron.
Hey.
No,
Oh, we
Ayrton. All right, good to have you.
what's
Good to have you.
up?
I'm not
Glad
gonna
to
mess
have you.
with you. But that's what's his name? I don't know if you ever seen the guy Key and Peele when he's in the classroom
Oh
doing
yeah.
role
I
and
love it.
he's
And
yelling,
butchering
Jackwaline,
the
A run.
name. Forever a funny
Oh
commercial.
man, that cracks me up. Cracks me up. I
Go
love
ahead,
it.
pop it off, Universal Nail Goddess. What you got? She said she
What
got a
you got?
question.
What you got? Come on with it. Come on with it.
The twins
So
together.
bring those questions. Bring those questions. It's like air and tone. Okay, Ayrton. Gotcha.
Air
Gotcha.
tone.
Ayrton Fanny. So it's like
Air
air
tone
and tone.
Fanny. Okay.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, that Y threw us off, but
It
it
did. I
should be
was
with
like tongue
yeah,
twisted.
but we should have that down because eyes, can replace Y and all that stuff.
Look, we
That
don't
has
know
been
everything. We
pages,
just said that, didn't we?
So hey, Blue Sky, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's happening? All
Cannabis
right, Angela
maximus. What
Rice,
it
good to have
do?
you here. Good to have you here from St. Louis. All right. from St. Louis. All right, good to have you. And Cannabis Maximus is in the house. All right, Universal Nail Goddess. Let's see, do we have that question?
K Street has a question. Let's pop that
All
up.
right. Well,
Okay. Oh,
Universal Nail Goddess put her
I
question
ain't
up
see
there.
it. My
We'll
bad.
get to K Street there. She says, "Do you believe we're living in a simulation or in a dream state?" You know, that's a great question, and I think that when we're talking about that idea, we are basically talking about the same thing in the sense of what the ancients have said, and I'll explain this in the way that the ancients looked at this idea. So a lot of people look at our reality as, you know, we can touch it, feel it, you know, it's real, you know. And but the ancients would say that our reality emerges from an even larger reality, okay, or a metaphysical reality. So out of the metaphysical comes the physical, okay. And the ancients have said that the state that we live here in the state of being that we are here in the physical is actually an illusion. Okay, that's the term that they use. It's an illusion, but it's not that it's not real, and it's not experience that you don't experience it, because it's all of that is very real. The illusion is that we do not have power over it. Okay. So when they're talking about we're in a dream state or a simulation, we literally have the ability to create our reality. We literally have the ability to create on this plane of existence. Okay. So short answer to your question, yes, I believe that we are in what you might call a simulation,
I
and
love
we have power within that simulation.
I love the way you explain that, Daddy. And
Thank you.
example that I like to give in terms of that question is I like to think of this reality as The Sims. So if anyone's ever played The Sims, it's like you're holding the joystick or the controller and you're experiencing life through a video game, or you're making your character do whatever you want it to
Yeah,
do in the video game. And
good
that's
analogy.
my perspective from or what my higher self is doing with Voice Shay, you know, in terms of what my higher self wants to experience through the avatar or the character of Voice Shay. And in terms of the dream state, I I believe that we are meant to interpret our daily life or our everyday life and the symbolism within it as if it is a dream, because both are realities, are experiences. We just deem this one, you know, real because it's physical, but in reality,
Right.
like Dad said, it is an illusion for the sake of experience. So it's meant to feel real in that sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So if when we're in a dream state, I want you guys to think about this. When we're in a dream state, our eyes are closed, right? But yet we can see in the dream.
Mhm.
We can feel the experience in the dream. Okay. So those states are inner states within us, but they are just as real as the states that we experience here in our physical reality.
Right.
So we have been taught to think of dreams as something like hallucinatory, or they're not real or anything like that. But it's literally just a shift in consciousness. Okay. And so that's just the crux of that. But good question. Good start off on the
Yeah,
question.
way to start it off.
Yeah.
And then K
Right.
Street had a question that I might need some clarity on it in terms of what he meant. He says, if I don't have children, am I choosing not to reincarnate? Are you saying like you're choosing not to allow a vessel to reincarnate through you, or um, I'm not that. What do you think he's?
Yeah, I'm not following that either. So what does your if you had children, what does that have to do in your mind about reincarnation, K Street? So
We'll
give us a little bit of clarity on that.
we'll let
Give
him
us a little bit of
clarify,
clarity.
and I'll see if I see any
All right.
issues. It says,
And then we'll
do you follow the 12 or 13 zodiac sign astrology? I personally follow the 12.
Yeah, same here. I don't know where this 13th idea comes from, but the Kemetic symbolism, it's 12, and that's where we get the 12 for the 12 hours for the clock. And that 12 hours is literally based on the sun circumventing the sky, or circling the sky, and each hour has its own power. Okay, so 12.
Mm, I like that. Hour, power, as well as archetype.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. And there is, of course, one half is day, the other half is night.
Mhm.
So, so a 13th, how people have come up with that, I don't know. But there's a lot of new ideas. Like, people want to come up with the idea of ether as something that is part of the metaphysical world. And I like to keep it along the lines of the ancients and what they did, because they were genius in the way that they developed their symbolism and stuff. And it wasn't arbitrary. It was based in a way that it's going to fit like a puzzle. There's not going to be this piece just kind of hanging out there like the ether. It fits nowhere. You can talk about it and ruminate about it, but with the ancients, all of their symbolism fits like a piece of a puzzle. It all fits together and interlaces with each other and interlock. That's why I can talk about astrology in connection with Kemetic symbolism and Kemetic spirituality. Okay, because it all fits together.
Love that. Great question.
Definitely, definitely. See, John Fort says, Reggie, you used to become greater people and liberate ourselves. Do you ever feel like someone might try to harm you? No, I don't. I don't live my life in fear like that. Because, in other words, really and truly, who am I a threat to? When it really comes down to it. I mean, I have, like, 60,000 subscribers on YouTube. I mean, you think of that in the context of the world, how many people know me? And in that context, who am I going to be a threat to on that level? Okay.
I see where he's coming from, but I still agree with not living life in fear and
Yeah.
fearing it, bringing becoming a magnet for what you fear. So you are moving and shaking, Dad, in terms of awakening and becoming a spiritual figure or a leader, and that is a threat to those who have orchestrated the system or part of the simulation that has created the illusion of control or
Hmm.
victimization.
Hmm.
So you are a counter to that. But in terms of fearing being harmed, that's not an empowered perspective.
No, and if I'm focusing on that, then I can bring that into my reality. So
Right.
I'd rather bring into my reality that I'm making a difference within humanity that is positive and empowering and uplifting, you know,
And
and
we are
and that's
protected.
that's what I see myself doing. So
Yeah.
I'm not against anybody, I'm for people, elevating their consciousness, and leveling up, within humanity. So the more I can help do that, the better, you know. So no, I don't live my life fearing somebody harming me. When it's my time to go, it's my time to go.
Mhm.
You know, I'll be back. I'll just be looking for their ass.
Yeah. And his legacy shall live on.
Right, right, right. Hey, dude, you remember me? You
Yeah.
remember me? Oh, you probably don't remember because I'm in another body now,
But no, we are
huh?
protected for sure. We're
Absolutely,
here on a mission,
absolutely.
and that mission is supported. We are
Yes,
protected.
we live in a friendly universe.
Yes.
We live in a friendly universe. That's my reality. All right,
Our
the dark
moderator, the
goddess is
dark goddess,
happening.
she says, "What about the motherships everyone is seeing now, plus the government starting to talk?" So
Okay, good question. Go ahead, voice. You want to go
yeah,
with
the
that?
evidence is irrefutable. It's there have been projects of disclosure. What's it called? Non-disclosure. What's There have been bringing things to light, and I feel like it's time, and it's nothing to be afraid of from my perspective.
Right. No, there's not. And but no, but this is a positive thing too. You know, it's great and positive because what's happening is that you have to think about how in this context, in the context of how reality works, because these possibilities of these motherships, you know, being around us or being able to connect with us, they're around us all the time.
Yeah.
But we have to literally raise our vibration to a level that they are in order to experience it, or as we say, see it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And there might be people, one person could be standing, you could be standing beside two people can be standing beside each other. One person can see the ship because they are vibrationally elevated, and the other person won't be able to. Okay. So that's what we got to understand, that a lot of times our subjective experience is not going to be like everybody else's. But we dismiss our subjective experience. If the other person doesn't see the ship, then we're like, oh, well, I guess it must not have been there, man. I might be crazy, you
Yeah.
know? But you got to understand that your vibration is the key. Your vibration to connecting with other civilizations outside of Earth is the key, you know? And this is really getting into the idea of what it is to be a Christ, because in ancient times Christ was not a person, it was a state of being that you reached, and you elevated yourself by becoming a Christ. Okay. So, but part of that Christ being was connecting to your inner world. You're plugging into your inner world. And if we are not aware of that inner world, which is a lot of people are not, because we think the subjective is nondescript. It's nothing. It's like, unless everybody agrees on it, it's not real. Okay. But your subjective experience is the most real and relevant experience in the universe, period.
And it's my belief that extraterrestrials, aliens, whatever you feel comfortable calling them, have been interacting with humanity since the beginning of time, since the beginning of humanity. It's just about us raising our consciousness for them to be able to interact with us directly, because they don't want to scare us or interfere in a negative way. They want to help. There are those that want to help in a positive way just as well as there's the opposition. But yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Aurora of an Angel says, Reg, you had me cracking up today calling people out. Hey, it's what I do. Sometimes I do it. I like to have fun too, because really a lot of those Christian people, they just don't bother me. And the reason they don't bother me really is because so many of you guys are so supportive, that you guys are, you'll always are saying thank you in the comments, or just making some nice comments and stuff. So those y'all's comments and positivity far outweigh that negative stuff, But sometimes I have to talk about that to give context to the good stuff, And so that's what I was doing today. But a lot of Christians come to the channel and like I said, they want to do what they do. But I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna call y'all ass out today.
You had time? You had time
Uh,
today?
Yeah. I had time today. I called them out because they be coming to the channel and they be wanting to make negative comments and stuff about the videos. And I'm like, well, why are you on this channel in the first place?
Hey, we appreciate the interaction. That gets the
why,
analytics up. So thanks.
I didn't come to you. You came to me. But the reason you came to me and got to me was because you were looking for something. And that algorithm pops my stuff up because you were looking for it. So, yeah. So shame on you. Your faith is not strong enough. So you searching. But then when you feel guilty, then you want to start calling me names, Satan and the Antichrist and all that kind of stuff. Get out of here with that. Get out of here with all that. All right. So Aurora and Angel ask a question. She says, but thank you for the kind words, Aurora and Angel. I appreciate it. Aurora of an Angel. I appreciate that. Says, how should one cope with family or even spouse disagreeing with leaving Christianity? So the first thing is that you shouldn't make it about, this is your journey, okay? Aurora, this is your journey, and it is not necessarily meant for anybody else, okay? So go on your journey, do your consciousness raising work, you know, and make it be about you raising your consciousness. And what happens is you got to understand that everybody is going to move at their own pace. Love them where they are. Allow them to be. Now, I know a lot of times what happens is that people want to start to announce, hey, I'm not Christian anymore. You know, I don't believe that anymore. I don't know. You know, if you want to do that, that's fine. But if you're talking to Christians, you're going to invite them, you know, disagreeing with you or coming at you or whatever. You do not have to tell people what you believe or don't believe. As Christians, we were taught that we had to do that.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of times we're taught that you have to announce it because they wouldn't know you were Christian any other way. I
And
mean,
you don't
go
need
ahead.
their validation nor understanding. All you need is your
No,
understanding. And if that's where your soul is guiding you, you know, that's validation enough. And like Dad said, love them where they're at. Like, that's fine. You can believe what you believe. I believe what
yep,
I believe. And I'm going to let my demonstration speak for itself.
yep. Because what's going to happen is, and this is what I've seen, Aurora, is that is that people that have spouses that are not on the same track with them as far as the spiritual thing is concerned. What happens is that the spouse that starts to develop consciously changes, and then the other spouse is like, what's happening
Yeah.
here?
Yeah.
And a lot of times the change is for the better, you know? And they start watching this person. And when they start to see this person change for the better, then their curiosity starts to peak up because they've been with them, around them for years, you know? And now their curiosity is peaked. Then they start to want to find out what the heck is going on that made this person change, that I couldn't make them change, but now all of a sudden they're doing this stuff and they've changed, you know? So when they're disagreeing with you, stop arguing with them.
Yeah.
Don't argue with them. Okay.
And know that it takes courage to change your beliefs or to even analyze, you know, something different. So pat yourself on the back, first of all.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. All right. All right. Let's see here. See, how do a person manifest or acquire the power within us or to obtain the energy from around us to manifest into power? I'm not sure if I'm understanding that question. How do a person manifest or acquire the, how do you, so first of all, you already have the power to manifest it or you wouldn't even be here. Okay. Let me say that. So that manifesting is the most natural thing for us to do. We just are not conscious of it a lot of times. So you manifested your body to be here, believe it or not. I know a lot of us will believe, oh, God, you know, created me and blah, blah. Yeah, well, God created everything. But as an extension, you, as a god or goddess in training, manifested yourself here as this body. Okay. So that's one of the teachings. But that's a natural, a very natural thing. So for as far as manifesting is concerned. All right.
Let's see. Oh,
Well,
sorry. Did you pull
let
something
me
up?
yeah, here. Let's see. David Rich gave 19.99. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Says I got 5 times this year and still living and loving life. All right, all right. Says sending Reiki energy. Pronounced Reiki. Oh yeah, yeah. I know Reiki. And happy belated birthday, Voice Shay.
Thank you,
All right.
David.
David
Much
Rich.
appreciated.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you. All right. Go ahead, Voice Shay, and pop that up there. Let's
Um,
see.
so I think this was in regards to the question about not reincarnating if you choose not to have children.
Well, no, that was from K Street.
Right, but I think grown and healthy was clarifying.
Okay, let's see. Agnostics believe that not having children ends your DNA legacy. I just thought Gnostics were just unsure. But I've never heard of that idea. But I guess on some level, if you don't have children, your DNA stops at wherever you are. But that doesn't mean that you won't reincarnate, because you're not reincarnating as your children. You know, so your reincarnation is not tied to your DNA legacy, because this physical body is only one representation of you. The odds are that when you reincarnate, you're going to reincarnate in another body. You might reincarnate as if you're a male, you might reincarnate as a female. If you're black, you might reincarnate as somebody white. If you're white, you might reincarnate as somebody black. So that's not going to be tied to whether or not you have children.
Right.
Okay. Cool. Good
Where
question.
does numerology fit into Kemetic living, if at all?
It is the foundation of everything Kemetic. And that's what people have no idea about. All of the netters, Ra, Ptah, Osiris, Horus, Isis, Atum, all of them are nothing but representations of the math without the math. They are all numerology. They are all numbers that have been personified, okay? Which is what the Bible is built on. All the personages that are in the Bible are the same characters, just they've had a name change. But numerology is the foundation of everything they do. Okay, so that's where it fits. It doesn't fit; it's the foundation of it. So, good question. So is spirituality all about you at the end of the day? Yeah, it really is. It's about your journey, because in a sense, we think that we're in the world. That's our perspective. But the world is being projected outside of us from within us. So the world is literally in us. Okay. So spirituality is about your development, and a lot of people will say, "Oh, that's being selfish," and all this kind of stuff. Well, at the end of the day, it is about you being selfish to the extent that you're developing yourself, and but that's not being selfish in the terms of you don't care about other people, because the other people end up being a reflection of our vibration, a reflection of who we are.
Yeah.
Okay.
And isn't there a saying, to know thyself is to know God?
Yes, to know God, to know thyself is to know God, because everything that we are is the universe. The universe is dispersed from our perspective, but that is us dispersed. That's our inner world. So if you know the planets, the stars, and the universe, then you know yourself, and vice versa. That's why astrology works. That's why Voice can do a reading in astrology and understand from the placement of the planets your energy, vibration, your destiny, or I won't say destiny because people think
purpose,
your purpose,
desire for even being on Earth, experiences, really it's just deciphering your projection or perception. So it's the difference between being on autopilot and being in control of the simulation, or having a level or degree of control through self-analyzation, through understanding and understanding, versus just projecting and not having the awareness of why you're experiencing certain things, but projecting with the awareness and deciding what you want to experience.
Yes. And that's another part of that is that a lot of people, especially us coming out of Christianity, we think that spirituality means limitation. Thou shalt not do this, thou shalt not do that. you better live right or you go to hell, and you live from a perspective of fear and limitation, when in reality spirituality is about expanding, it's about exploring, it's about adventure, really.
Yeah.
And once you really start to connect to that idea, and especially going within and connecting with your inner self, your higher self, there is a fascinating world that is within us that we travel into every time we go to sleep. We are literally more conscious when we're asleep than we're awake. But when we're awake, we're focused into this consciousness. We're focused into this level of consciousness. That's what our ego is. It's focusing us in this plane of existence. But there is so much more
Yeah.
that is out there, and so much more that we are.
And it's fun. It's fun. Meditating is so fun for me. Daydreaming, drifting in la la land, as they call it. That's literally your conscious going somewhere else or experiencing another dimension, another reality. There's vast possibilities and opportunities to enjoy outside of the physical as well as within the physical.
All right, all
John
right.
Ford, we answered your question. Rewind about 10 minutes. So I see your question and we answered it. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's see.
Basically, no, I don't worry about being harmed. So that was the short answer to the question. Uh, let's
Cousin
see.
JJ in the building. What's up, JJ?
All right, JJ, love JJ's here. What's up, my brother? Says
Yeah.
Cabby Pinnell. What's going on, Cabby? Says thank you so much, Mr. Reggie, for your teaching. You know my dad, Adrian. Yep, I know Big A. Sure do. He's not really happy that I really listen to the knowledge that you be teaching. I understand, and it's cool. And Big A's a friend of mine too. So, but I understand, and a lot of times it's just not, people just don't understand what the knowledge is about, and they assume that I'm going against Christianity, but I'm really going against the negative programming if I'm going against anything. I'm really trying to uplift people and our people out of the negative programming. But I understand that, and I understand where he is, and for us, when we were friends and we were hanging with each other, this is not something that we really got into, but we found our level, and we found other things that we hung out about. So he didn't try to change me, I didn't try to change him. He was Christian, I'm not, but we were cool. So and Big A's a cool dude. But appreciate that, Cabby. Definitely appreciate that.
How do you feel about the deep state of meditation? So that's a little what we were talking about a little bit in terms of the possibilities that are endless when you can refocus your state of consciousness, and that's what meditation is. So instead of, it's kind of like you checking out of the simulation, in a sense, and reconnecting with the soul, higher perspectives, higher states of awareness, and just creating a channel for that divinity to work through you. And just dispel, I don't like to call it darkness, but distortion, just help you dispel any distortion, help you to see clearly, help you gain clarity through altered states of consciousness. What do you think, Larry?
and deep meditation, that is really where the magic is, and you really, and when I say magic, I'm literally saying magic, that we are some magical we're some magical people.
For sure.
you
For
know
sure.
so that getting into that state, and getting into that state where you're really allowing, and you're allowing the universe to move through you and around you, it can be a powerful tool, so a powerful and wonderful tool. Let me give some props here. So Ashley Halsey gave $4.99. Thank you, Ashley. Definitely appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that. And Universal Goddess gave $1.99. Definitely appreciate you too, Universal Goddess. Thank you very much. All right. And I see we got some other ones up here too. I'm so way behind, man.
Eugene, what you talking about? He says, I thought you guys banned me. Never. What?
Who? Eugene, why?
Eugene.
Yeah, why would we? Yeah, Eugene, you ain't ticked me off yet.
Let's see.
No, Eugene, I wouldn't do that to you, brother. You've been around too long. You're a good brother. I know you, so we good. And this is so funny because the people that have been with me for a while, and I recognize them, in the comments and stuff. You guys, y'all can question and y'all can like not necessarily debate. I don't debate people, but you can say, hey, Reg, I don't agree with this and stuff like that. Because I know you cool, and I know you like been in my corner and stuff like that. We're not gonna always agree on everything, but I get these people that I've never heard anything from them, don't know who they are. First time they ever comment to me, and they want to write me this long diatribe and tell me how much they disagree with me. I read the first 2 lines and I click, you banned. Bye. I don't even want to deal with you. So
Yeah.
forget all of that. All right. Says Mike Butler gave $5. Thank you, Mike Butler. Says love the channel. Are we supposed to follow the 42 laws of Ma'at to elevate our life? That's a great question, Mike. And this is what I'm going to say to you. If you believe that you're supposed to follow somebody's laws at the expense of your own empowerment and expression, you're going to be in the same position that you were in Christianity. Because Christianity had 10 laws that everybody was supposed to follow. They didn't follow. Okay. So the 42 laws of Ma'at, and honestly, I've never seen that. I've heard people talk about it. It's not something that I've ever seen documented that it is actually from ancient Egypt. Somebody came up with that. And the reason I say that is because I know that this knowledge is based on metaphysical principles. And the metaphysical principles that I know and that I have studied for over 25 years, 20 years, somewhere around in there. I studied them a long time. The 42 laws of Ma'at don't fit because there are negative confessions and the universe does not hear negative. And the reason why the universe doesn't hear negative is because when you say, I'm not blah, 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 you're focused on blah, blah, blah. Whether you say not or don't. You might as well say, I'm blah, blah, blah. Because when you're focused on it, that's what you start to bring and start to magnetize to you. So are we supposed to follow any laws? Let me rephrase that, because I'm not advocating anarchy. But as far as spirituality is concerned, we should follow what flows with us and what we flow with. And if you put yourself in a box of having to follow something or somebody else's ideas, and this is what I'll say to you, what me and Voice are talking about, we're not saying to follow us. All we're doing is giving you our experience, and that if you can relate to it and vibe with it, then great. If not, toss that shit out and forget about it.
Take what resonates, leave what does not. Do not limit your experience based on somebody else's experiences or perception.
Absolutely.
We freestyling out here.
Yep. And it's about you having fun and living through your joy.
Yeah.
And somebody is going to tell you to follow their laws or their ways. I'm telling you right now, they're going to be looking to try and control you in your experience at some point. Okay. So following laws blindly and without thinking about them is a danger to yourself. And that's what Christianity has wanted us to do for a long time. Okay. So I am not sure about the 42 laws of Ma'at. I still have not found where they got those from, where that originated from. Okay. So that's my answer for that. Good question, though. Good question. Let's
Russell
see.
says, I meditate daily, but do not feel my frequency or vibration increasing. What is a sure, powerful way to do this? And I would say,
go ahead.
Don't try to measure the results. Just stay consistent and enjoy life, and set the intention to follow your joy. Set the intention for clarity. Just set the intention and then don't monitor the results.
Yeah, it sounds like she has a preconceived notion of what that is. and you might think like increasing your frequency of vibration. And I'll ask you, Susan, and I wish you could put that up right quick. Is what do you see, or what is increasing your frequency and vibration? What does that mean to you? What does that look like? How does that manifest in your life, or how do you see that manifest in your life? Let me hear what you're saying there, because I'm betting that you have a perception of that idea that might not be congruent with what the truth is.
Yeah.
Or the
And
truth
I
of that
find
idea.
that when people first start meditating, they always have expectations of how it's supposed to be based on someone else's description of it, or preconceived notions. But it's literally just the analyzation of your inner being, your thoughts, silencing your mind, or in attempts to silence your mind, analyzing what's going through there. It's literally just going within, becoming one, listening. It's not rocket science, so to speak. It's literally just sitting and being present.
Right.
Your awareness.
And understand that when you're talking about your frequency and vibration, understand that is not a static thing. Okay. So your frequency and vibration can go up by the hour, it can go up by the minute, it can go up and down by the day. Okay. So and this is the way that you have to recognize that idea, is that when you feel good, your vibration is up, your frequency is up. When you feel bad, your frequency is low. Okay. It's really that simple. If you got to give it a direction. So if your state of mind is more in a more happy state on a daily basis, and I can tell you right now, a lot of people deal with a lot of negativity and they don't even realize it, that they ingest so many toxic ideas, watching the news and looking at their timeline and people complaining and getting mad and poking at each other, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That lowers your vibration.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Automatically, it lowers your vibration, because you start to get depressed or angry or whatever. You start to feel whatever that brings on.
Yeah.
That lowers your vibration. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have to choose to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
You have to choose to focus on something different than the low vibrational stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Filter your reality.
So it's raising your vibration is an active sport.
Yeah.
You got to choose to do it.
Moment to moment.
Yes. And a lot of people think that it's something that's just going to come to them from the outside. But remember, the outside is your projection.
Yeah.
Okay. So your inner vibration, your projection is going to match your vibration. So what are you looking at day to day? What do you see in your world day to day? Do you see negative things? Do you focus on the war, the famine, the stuff like that? Because ultimately, when you are focused on the good things in life, that's what your vibration is going to show you. That
Right.
doesn't mean that the other stuff is not going to be happening around you.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't affect you.
Right.
Okay.
It's always there. There's always going to be, the less desirable human experience,
It's a duality.
Yeah.
Duality is always going to be present.
Where your focus goes, energy grows. So choose
Bingo.
what you want to focus on.
Bingo. And that's what people have to understand. They think sometimes when they get spiritual that all things are supposed to be rosy and good at that point. But the reality of the situation is no matter where you are spiritually, I got to always find that camera. No matter where you are spiritually, the other possibility, the other end of that possibility is there. If you're in a negative place, the positive place, the possibility is there. You just have to turn towards it and focus on it. Yep. But it's your ability to do it. You have to do it. Okay?
Yeah.
So thank you for that. Third Eye Open gave $9.99. Thank you, Third Eye Open. Definitely.
He had a question on top of that.
Okay. Let's see. What are your thoughts on Buddhism? I don't have any. From my experience, a lot of your teachings are similar to Kemetic science. So Buddhism is not a derivative. How can I say? The foundation of Buddhism comes from the ancient African teachings, not necessarily Kemetic, but a lot of the Kemetic teachings come from ancient Africa. I'm sorry. A lot of the Kemetic teachings, the ancient interior Africa is where these teachings came from. So Buddha has a connection to Kemet, and it's just a difference in the pronunciation of the name. But Buddha and Pita, Buddha, Pita, P and B can be exchanged etymologically. Okay, so there are links from Kemeticism to Buddhism. Okay, so that's documented, but it's not something that I like went off and studied, because that just goes away from really what I want to learn and what I want to teach. Okay, but good question. Good question. Robert Johnson's in the house. What's up, my brother? Gave up 390,
Appreciate you, Robert.
333. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. That's family in the house.
And Dad, I wanted to speak to what JJ was mentioning in the via conversation in the chat. He said, but I don't believe arguing or trying to change someone's mind and belief. It's an exercise in futility. And I completely agree with that, because I believe a couple women in the chat were expressing that they are on their spiritual path, but their partner is still rooted in Christianity, and there being a conflict there. And, wondering, how do we continue to grow together as a couple when our beliefs, divide us? And it's just, once again, living in your demonstration and asking yourself, is this in alignment with me? How can I love them where they're at? And if it's not bringing you down, if they're able to accept you and you accept them, and y'all have different beliefs and still be able to love each other, then, that's great. But if it, becomes to either of your detriment, or it's not fulfilling or serving you, then, it's just for you to ask yourself, is this in alignment with who I'm becoming, what I want, and these are tough questions. But our relationships are catalysts to make us ask these difficult questions,
Yeah.
So,
and I want to say to that too, we have to also recognize that it's more difficult for the women than if the women and are changing and the male partner is not. It's more difficult for them than the other way around. Okay, because of the way that the Christian men are taught in Christianity, that they're supposed to be the head and the woman is supposed to follow them. So I can understand those sisters are going to have a lot tougher time dealing with that, because in their difference in spirituality is going to be, to him, it's going to seem like it's a reflection on him, on his ability not to be able to control his woman on some level. So and I'm really like simplifying that, but that psychological pull is going to be there when it's the sisters that are changing and the men are not. When the men are, on the other hand, they can leave the sister alone, for the most part. And not to say that there aren't some sisters that is going to make that a deal, but because they're equally yoked and all that kind of stuff. But for women, I know that for you, it's a lot tougher when that man is a Christian and he truly believes his Christian belief, his Christian walk as a man. I know that that's going to be a lot tougher for you. Okay,
yeah, it's almost like
it's not easy.
Threat. You become a threat to their reality, to their belief system, and if they're not willing to, look within and ask those questions, you can be a constant feeling of agitation for them in that way. It goes both ways, male or female. So again, that can be difficult.
Absolutely. All right, Ancient of Days says he's priming the pump. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, Michael. Most definitely. All right. And who we got here? Let's see. Alatunji Shomari gave $5. So thank you very much, Alatunji Shomari. All right. And Robert Bush gave $5 on Cash App, and Ava Jackson gave $11.11. So thank you, Robert Robert Bush. Robert Bush is an long time friend of mine, a good buddy. So he's always been around. Appreciate that support, brother. Most
Much
definitely.
appreciated.
And then Ava Jackson, 1111. That's family there. So appreciate you, Ava. Ava's
Thanks,
in the
Ava.
class. All right.
Toes 10 says, how do we ignite or decalcify the pineal gland to communicate with outer space brothers, with our outer space?
I have no idea. I hear people talking about that, the pineal gland calcifying and stuff like that. I have no idea. I don't even know how the pineal gland can calcify.
Yeah.
But not to say that it can't happen, but I can't help you with that one.
I've heard of it. I've heard of it. And just
I've heard of it.
Ask for clarity. Ask to see truth, the truth that aligns with your highest good. And if you have a desire to reach out and connect with them, once again, meditate and raise your vibration so that they can, make it easier for them to talk to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be
Stuart says, I think these 9 to 5s is keeping us from reaching our higher self. I agree with you 100%, bro.
Yeah.
I agree with you 100. We need more entrepreneurs in the Black community for sure. That's one of the reasons why I started African Mind Rewire, was because of that. I'm like, shoot, man, we need some people that can start some businesses, have the courage to get out there and be some entrepreneurs and risk takers.
Yeah,
that's what we
for
need
sure.
to do. Let's see. Let's see. I'm just looking.
There's a good question. Can you talk about eating differently to raise vibration? Does that matter? So that's actually something I'm experimenting with myself. But in terms of food everything being vibration, what Christians did have right is in terms of praying over your food, or setting the intention over your food for what you wanted to do to your body within. But just like emotions range in vibration, the types of food also range in vibration from my understanding. But what I'm experimenting with is, does my overall being what's it called? I feel like my overall being takes over the food, or that's what I'm experiencing.
In other words, the food is coming from outside of you doesn't mean that it has power over you.
Right, because if my vibration is high, I'm deciding what state of mind, what state of being I'm in. What I eat does not have control over me, and the body does what the mind says. So if I tell my body, what I wanted to do, I'm telling it, good job. I'm like, y'all doing great. We looking good. It's going to mirror and reflect that. Because just even knowing my dad all my life, he passed down his sweet tooth to me. Okay. But my dad has never had any health issues, or I've never seen him be in and out of the doctor for different things because of the type of lifestyle that he lives, So from my perspective, your mentality, your state of being has precedent over food. Okay. Now,
and what I noticed.
Yeah, go ahead.
One of the things I noticed is a lot of people that are focused on like food as their health, or diet as health, and stuff like that. People who are focused on sickness get sick.
Mm-hmm.
People who are afraid that if they don't eat right, they're going to get sick.
Yeah,
they get sick.
Right.
But the deal is what are they focused on?
Right. Your beliefs
focused on illness,
creating your reality, or creating the effect. And I remember when I was going through a time where my weight was fluctuating, but it was like this obsession over it, and feeling guilt anytime I ate something that wasn't healthy, or going to the gym with obsessing over the scale. It's like it just once again depends on what you're focusing on, what you believe, how you feel when you're eating the food, and how you feel when you're working out. If your intention for working out is, man, this feels really great, my body feels really good when I work out, and I love seeing the results, then you're going to get positive results. But if you go to the gym like, I got to run faster so I can lose these pounds, or I didn't do enough today, so I'm this Snicker bar is about to go right to my thighs. Like that mentality is going to create create the adverse effect. So it's
Yeah,
really just about how
absolutely.
you look
No,
at it.
and see, and this is the other thing too, is that I know about myself is that I've had like an adversarial relationship to food, and the idea that food is, if I eat the wrong way, it's gonna just my metabolism is slow. If I eat too much, it's just gonna put on weight and stuff like that. And that's what ends up happening.
Yeah.
But I've had to shift my idea about food. So that doesn't mean that I'm just going to, because no matter what, I have to consider my programming around food. And until I address that, how can I say, intentionally, and I haven't always done that, because honestly, I like food. I like different tastes. I enjoy trying different stuff. I enjoy sweets. I enjoy all of that. I just have to learn how to do the stuff in moderation. I got to do that better. But I'm not going to stop eating. I am not going to diet. I am not going to be a vegetarian because I like meat. And I'm not gonna cut out sweets all the time because I like it. I like a good bowl of ice cream. Boy, shit, have you tried that cookie two-step yet? That
Cookie
bluebell?
two-step, that's bluebell? No,
Yeah.
should I? You always got the good
Oh no,
recommendation.
girl.
I don't
Don't
need
try.
to, because
Don't
you
do it.
always send me down that rabbit hole. Nope.
Don't do it, girl. It's if it was a sin, you'd be going to hell. I'm
Oh
telling you.
my goodness. I'm gonna take your word for it.
Woo, woo. Hey, if y'all don't know about bluebell, don't mess with it. I'm telling you, that's stuff. If you're into sweets. But
Man,
anyway,
finished the tub
but
the
my
other
point
day.
is that ultimately the food outside of us does not have the power over our body. So it's our thinking about it. And
Yeah.
I recognize that is a I don't know, a weakness or an issue for me personally. So that's one thing that I deal with is just my programming around food, and I haven't necessarily addressed that programming.
Mhm.
Okay.
And
The-
addressing that conditioning, like I acknowledge for myself, it does take discipline to maintain awareness of my thoughts surrounding food and my beliefs, so that I can create the desired result. So acknowledge the conditioning, but be gracious with yourself and just keep working toward your goal, so to speak. Let's see. Is he frozen? I believe he's frozen again. If y'all can hear me, let me know. All righty. We only got 3 more minutes left anyway, you guys. So let's see. Oh, an astrology question. Okay. Okay, you're back.
I don't know what's happening here. So it just happens. But I'm back. I'm back. All right.
Cool. Yeah, I was telling him we only had about 3 minutes anyway. So if you ain't come back, I was about
No,
to
I
answer
wouldn't
the
do that to you. I
astrology
wouldn't do
question.
that. All right.
Um, but yeah, Empress Queen says your North Node is your purpose in this lifetime, or and it's what your soul is striving toward. The as well as the experiences that your soul wants to have in order to expand in this incarnation and in this lifetime. So the purpose of life is to enjoy, but your North Node will tell you what would be enjoyable for your soul, most enjoyable for your soul in this incarnation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. I see Alpha Fem was saying something about the food. She was saying processed food always makes me feel heavy or empty, whereas fresh fruits and vegetables does the opposite. I feel energetic and light. Yeah, and definitely if that's a belief, a strong belief for you, I believe that's absolutely positively the way it works for you.
Mhm.
Absolutely. You
And
know,
just
but
just go ahead, Dan.
But I was going to say a lot of times what I hear is people will just say they want to get into this dogma about how everybody should live. And everything does not work for everybody. The one thing that works for you might not work for the next person. And we get so much into we get dogmatic about stuff, and to me, that's where the danger comes in when you start to getting dogmatic about stuff.
Hmm. Yeah, because absolutely nothing is concrete. So just like we were talking about, what you ingest on social media affects your vibe and vibration. But even if you're doing that, but intentionally, being aware of your vibe and altering your consciousness as you're maybe looking at it or ingesting it or whatever the case may be, you always have the power. The power is always in your hands. The key from this is nothing outside of you has power over you. Everything is mind. Um, yeah.
Yeah,
Ooh,
absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. Says, see, SJ3 says, is sleep paralysis connected to the astral world? Yeah, it can be, but it's a lot of times it's just when we're in between sleep and dream state, and our body and brain is chemically in between those states. It's like you become aware, but the chemicals that keep you paralyzed while you're asleep, because most of us have to be paralyzed while we're asleep, or we'll be acting out stuff in our sleep, you know.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's connected to that on some level. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's something I experienced a lot as a child, and less frequently as an adult. And it is that it does feel like an in between, like an awareness of both sides. And I
Yeah,
do
and
feel
I
like
just
my consciousness comes back, and it's like, okay, I'm back, but my body's not reacting. I'm like, okay, wake up.
no,
Move.
and like that happens to me when I sleep on my stomach.
Mm,
I'll sleep paralysis, and that inevitably happens to me when I sleep on my stomach for some reason.
mm,
But I have like been like dreaming, and I know I'm dreaming, and I'm trying to wake up, and I literally like start trying to scream or do something to wake myself up, but I'm just paralyzed. I can't. It's like I know I'm asleep, but I can't wake up. So it happens. It happens.
yeah.
Let's see. Universal
Thank you,
Goddess
love, JJ.
skipped her a question, but so yeah, absolutely, Universal Goddess. If we miss a question, please put it up again. Let's see. Go
JJ
ahead, Bush.
said, "Boy, Shay and Kemetic Center Living, Dad, high five and love you both. You're both appreciated for everything you continue to contribute to our community. Much respect." Thank you so much, JJ. Much
Thank you. Thank
appreciated
you
to
very
you.
much.
Love the vibes and energy you bring every time you show up. It's always a party. Everybody always happy to see you. So glad you were here today.
Love JJ's energy all the
Yes,
time.
yes.
All the
He's
time.
such a light. Such
So
a light.
all the moderators love him. So Ra the creator,
The dark
Dark Goddess,
goddess,
love JJ, love you guys. Love you
much
guys.
appreciated.
Absolutely. Universal Nail Goddess, what's your question? So ask that question again, so we'll get to it
I'm
before we
trying to
cut out here.
scroll and see if I see it.
And I want to say Blue Sky gave $20. Thank you, Blue Sky. Says
Thank
Reggie and
you.
Voice always keeping the positive energy flowing. Love y'all. Thank you, Blue Sky.
Shauna
Definitely
A.
appreciate that.
I see you posted this question a couple times. She said, I kept having dreams about being taken underground civilizations beneath the tunnels. Does anybody know what that's all about? My advice to you would be ask your higher self to, decipher that dream for you, because it's your dream, your experience, and only your inner self can validate what that means for you. We could speculate for you. But yeah, I would say that you ask that in a meditation, for clarity about what that dream means to you.
And here's her question. Good, 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 good.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. All right. Says Universal Nail Goddess. If God is consciousness, then what is consciousness? Universal Nail Goddess. Civilization has been
Everything.
trying to figure out and answer that. And I don't think in this sense God is not consciousness, because the way the Kemetic teachings answer that idea is that consciousness is like a companion to what we know as God, as the stuff of creation. So they have Ba, and then they have Ma'at, and Ma'at is the equivalent of our idea of consciousness today. Okay, and that is symbolized as a feminine netter for a reason. but nobody knows what consciousness is. From man's perspective, nobody can know what God is because we're just not at that level. We can't understand what that is, you know. And religion has tried to answer that, and in some ways, not some ways, they've butchered it, you know, making God a male and and stuff like that. But the origin of the universe, nobody knows. We can only think of it in our linear terms and limited terms as conscious beings. So I don't have the answer to that question, and nobody in the history of mankind has ever answered that question. Science is still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
So, all right. All right. Roses and bees. Gave
Thank
11
you.
11. Thank you, Roses and bees. Appreciate you. Says thanks for sharing your knowledge. Definitely appreciate that. All right. All right, guys. Well, it is about that time. Thank you, everybody, for being here.
Yes. Much appreciated.
Our moderators, Love JJ and Ra the Creator, the
The
Dark
dark
Goddess.
goddess.
Thank
Much
you guys for being
appreciated.
here.
Yes.
Definitely
Love you all.
appreciate it. Everybody that gave tonight and primed that pump, thank you again. Definitely
Thank you so
appreciate it.
much.
And to my co-host here, Voice Shay, thank you so much for being here.
My
Always love your
pleasure.
energy, baby girl. I appreciate you.
My
Definitely
pleasure,
appreciate you.
Daddy. Thanks for having me.
All right,
Love
guys.
you all. Good night to everyone. Thanks again for the high vibe questions, all the love. Y'all just bring such great energy, and it's much appreciated. So thank you all, and sending much love. Good night.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good one, and we'll see y'all next week. All right.